The spaceship trembled slightly as it pierced the atmosphere of Zither 7, a planet bathed in greenish light from its twin suns. Captain Aaron gripped the edge of his seat, his eyes scanning the viewports with calm precision. Around him, his crew, adjusted to the sudden turbulence, each aware of the significance of their mission. Humans had never landed on Zithera before. The planet was ruled by an alien queen known for her cunning intellect and unyielding pride. Diplomacy here was a delicate thread. One wrong move could spark conflict. "Steady," Aaron said quietly, his voice carrying calm authority. "We've trained for this. Just remember who we are." The crew nodded. They had been chosen not for their combat skill alone, but for their resilience, intelligence, and ability to adapt. Humanity had survived countless challenges, and now they carried that legacy into the heart of an alien empire. Outside, the alien city shimmered like a crystalline forest. Towers rose high into the sky, reflecting the twin suns in sharp, dazzling angles. The air shimmered faintly, charged with energy, and strange patterns moved across the surface of the buildings like living circuits. It was beautiful, alien, and intimidating all at once. As the landing ramp lowered, the humans stepped out. Their suits were sleek, built to survive Zithera's thin, electrically charged atmosphere. The crew formed a line, each carrying a calm, measured confidence. This was no ordinary mission. They were humanity's face to an advanced species that had long dismissed humans as fragile, weak, and short-lived. A hush fell over the palace courtyard as they approached. Alien courtiers, tall and elegant with translucent skin and luminous eyes, turned to watch. Whispers moved like wind through the courtyard. The humans were different. Difference was always dangerous in the Queen's court. At the head of the reception hall, the alien queen waited. She floated slightly above the crystalline floor, her form both regal and otherworldly. Her many arms moved with precise elegance, each gesture commanding attention. She was tall, even by alien standards, her eyes sharp and assessing, glowing with a faint violet hue. "Remove your helmet," she said, her voice melodic but firm. Carrying through the courtyard and echoing in the surrounding towers, the humans froze for a moment. The queen expected compliance and she expected weakness. Her gaze swept over them with condescension, certain she would see fear etched on their faces. Their fragile biology exposed. Captain Aaron stepped forward. His hands were steady as he reached up and unclipped the helmet of his suit. Around him, his crew followed, revealing faces hardened by experience, scars telling stories of survival, and eyes bright with determination. The queen's violet eyes widened ever so slightly. The whispers among her courtiers faltered. This was not the face of a fragile, frightened species. This was a human, and humans carried something the queen had not anticipated, an unshakable calm, a quiet confidence that dared to meet her gaze without submission. Aaron bowed slightly, a gesture of respect rather than fear. "I am Captain Aaron, representing humanity," he said, his voice steady and clear. "We come in peace, to open dialogue between our peoples." The queen studied him. Her curiosity, sharp as a blade, flickered across her expression. Something in his bearing unsettled her. Humans were unpredictable, she knew, but she had never encountered one who radiated strength without aggression. "Humans," she said slowly, the word tasting unfamiliar on her tongue.
I have observed your kind from afar.
Fragile, short-lived, unsuitable for the complexities of galactic politics. "Yet here we stand," Aaron replied evenly, "ready to meet your expectations and, if needed, exceed them." Ripple moved through the courtyard. It was more than words, it was presence. Humans, though physically smaller and less technologically advanced than many species in the galaxy, carried a unique strength, spirit, courage, and ingenuity. The queen, despite her pride, could feel it. "Very well," the queen said, regaining composure. "Follow me." She turned, her multiple arms moving in elegant arcs as she glided toward the palace's central tower. The humans followed, their steps measured, each aware of the scrutiny on them. Every movement mattered. Every gesture was a test. Inside, the palace was a labyrinth of crystal corridors and chambers, glowing faintly with energy flowing through the walls. The air hummed with power, and faint patterns danced across the floors and ceilings, as if the building itself were alive. Aaron's eyes took in every detail. Humans were observers, learners. They adapted quickly. They noted patterns others might miss, and they used what they learned. "This hall leads to the throne chamber," the Queen explained, her voice echoing softly. "There we shall begin our evaluation." Evaluation. The word was heavy with meaning. For the alien, strength was measured differently. Physical prowess mattered, yes, but intelligence, strategy, and the ability to manipulate energy were even more prized. Humans had none of these innate abilities, yet they had survived. Against impossible odds, humanity had endured, adapted, and thrived. Aaron's mind worked silently, noting possible threats, calculating responses. The crew moved in unison, subtle gestures indicating readiness, awareness, and calm. They were humans resilient, unpredictable, and alive with potential. At the chamber's entrance, the Queen paused. "Here you will demonstrate your capabilities. A court will judge whether humanity is worthy of consideration among the galaxy's advanced civilizations." Aaron inclined his head. "We will do our best, as always," he said. There was no arrogance in his tone, only a quiet confidence. Inside the chamber, the walls shimmered and shifted, forming alien symbols and patterns that seemed to pulse with energy. A low hum filled the room. This was a test of intellect as much as courage, and Aaron's crew was ready. "Begin," the Queen commanded. The chamber transformed, revealing puzzles, shifting obstacles, and challenges designed to confound the mind. Aaron observed carefully, noting patterns, calculating sequences, and leading his team with precision. One by one, they solved the puzzles in ways the aliens did not anticipate. Their approach was unconventional, but effective. The courtiers gasped quietly. Humans were not supposed to navigate this complex environment so effortlessly. And yet here they were, proving that survival had made them adaptable, creative, and clever. The Queen's violet eyes narrowed, a mix of curiosity and something she did not often feel, respect tinged with surprise. Humans were different, yes, but they were more than she had expected. As the last puzzle fell into place, the chamber hummed and pulsed, acknowledging the completion. The humans stood tall, unbowed, yet respectful, their eyes bright and alert. The Queen studied them, silent, stretching. Finally she spoke, her voice softer, almost hesitant. "Perhaps humanity is not as weak as I presumed." Aaron inclined his head slightly. "Strength takes many forms," he said. "We endure. We learn. That is our advantage." A faint murmur moved through the court. Alien nobles exchanged glances, unsure how to respond. The humans had challenged their assumptions, and the impact was clear. These creatures, underestimated by all, carried a strength of spirit that no technology or natural power could match. The Queen floated closer, her many arms folded gracefully. "I will admit you are unlike any I have encountered. The human spirit is remarkable." Aaron allowed a small, respectful smile. "We are proud of it," he said. The Queen's gaze lingered on him. For the first time in her reign, she felt something akin to caution and awe. Humans were fragile by biology, yet mighty by will. The court watched silently, the tension thick. The first act of this encounter was over, and already humanity had made an impression that would echo far beyond this palace. As the humans followed the Queen deeper into the heart of the palace, each step was measured, careful, yet confident. The journey had only begun. Challenges lay ahead, tests of strength, intellect, and courage. Captain Aaron and his crew knew one thing with certainty: humans were not to be dismissed. Not here, not anywhere in the galaxy. The air in the palace arena hummed with power. Light shimmered across the high walls, bending and twisting as if alive. The human crew entered carefully, their movements precise. Captain Aaron led them, his eyes scanning every corner, every flicker of energy. Around them, the alien court watched in silence, their glowing eyes filled with curiosity and doubt. The Queen hovered at the center, her multiple arms folded gracefully. "This is the arena of trials," she announced. "Here, strength, intellect, and skill will be tested. Humans, you will face challenges designed to reveal your limits. If you fail, you may leave as broken as your species expects." Aaron bowed slightly. "We will meet your challenges," he said calmly. There was no fear in his voice. Only determination. The first trial appeared before them. A series of floating platforms stretched across a wide chasm, energy fields rippling between them. The platforms shifted constantly, some vanishing and reappearing in unpredictable patterns. One misstep, and the human would fall into the glowing abyss below. The aliens whispered among themselves. Humans were not built for such agility. They had no wings, no innate ability to manipulate energy, no natural talent for navigating shifting environments like this. The Queen expected failure. Aaron assessed the platforms, noting their patterns. "We can do this together," he said, signaling his team. "Watch the rhythm, time your steps, and help each other." The humans moved as one, careful but confident. They jumped from platform to platform, using ropes, handholds, and their own agility. One crew member, Lena, extended a grappling hook to assist another who hesitated. They communicated silently, moving as if guided by a single mind. A gasp echoed through the court. Humans were solving the trial not through brute force or alien ability, but through strategy, observation, and cooperation. The Queen's violet eyes narrowed. This was unusual. She had expected panic, missteps, failure. Instead, the humans advanced, their focus unbroken. They crossed the chasm flawlessly, landing on the final platform with steady grace. "Impressive," she admitted. But this was only the first test. The second trial began immediately. The chamber shifted again, revealing a labyrinth of walls made of shimmering energy. Within it, alien constructs creatures of light and crystal moved with calculated precision, programmed to challenge intruders. The humans had to navigate the maze while avoiding these sentinels, which could immobilize them with energy strikes. Aaron motioned to his team. "Observe patterns first, then act. We move as one." The humans split into pairs, each communicating silently with subtle hand signals and eye contact. They dodged and weaved around the energy sentinels, anticipating movements before they happened. The aliens in the court murmured in shock. Humans were supposed to be reactive, but these creatures planned ahead, adapted instantly, and acted decisively. One sentinel struck too close to Lena, sending a shockwave that would have toppled most species, but she leapt with precision, rolling over the energy wave and landing safely. Another crew member, Rafe, held a device that absorbed part of the energy, using it to shield a teammate. By the time the humans reached the center of the labyrinth, all sentinels had been bypassed or neutralized, not with strength alone, but with creativity and teamwork. The Queen's eyes widened slightly. Her courtiers exchanged uneasy glances. Humans were not supposed to be so adaptable. They were supposed to struggle and fail. Yet here they were, overcoming a challenge designed to highlight their weakness. The third trial was not physical. It was mental. A holographic projection filled the arena, displaying images of galaxies, star systems, and strange alien symbols. At the center of the projection floated a puzzling alien device that required a precise sequence to unlock. Any error could trigger a containment field, trapping the human inside. Aaron stepped forward. His eyes scanned the device, noting subtle cues in the symbols and their positions. He gestured to Lena, who adjusted the sequence based on his observations. One by one, the team members contributed, suggesting patterns, testing possibilities, and correcting mistakes instantly. The Queen observed silently. Humans did not have the telepathy or natural calculation abilities common to advanced alien species. Yet they were solving the puzzle through logic, intuition. In collaboration things, her species often dismissed as primitive. With a final adjustment, the device clicked open. Light poured from it, bathing the chamber in brilliance. The humans had succeeded. A murmur spread through the court. Even the Queen's advisors could not hide their astonishment. The humans were exceeding expectations, not through alien powers, but through human ingenuity. The final trial was the most dangerous. A vast arena appeared, filled with traps, shifting walls, and energy beams. At the center was a massive, pulsating crystal, the heart of trials. Whoever reached it first could claim victory. Failure meant being trapped in a cell that simulated a deadly environment. Testing endurance to the limits, Aaron led the charge. The humans moved swiftly, dodging energy beams, leaping over chasms, and sliding under walls. When one teammate stumbled, another caught him, preventing disaster. They navigated the traps not individually, but as a cohesive unit, each covering the other. Anticipating risks before they arose, the Queen watched, speechless. She had expected them to falter, to collapse under pressure. Instead, they displayed strength, endurance, and trust in one another. Humans were physically weaker than her species, yes, but their mental resilience and teamwork allowed them to accomplish what alien elites struggled to achieve. Finally, Aaron reached the heart of trials. He placed his hand upon it, and a pulse of energy swept through the arena. The traps deactivated, the walls shimmered into harmless light, and the chamber fell silent. The humans had completed every trial flawlessly. The court erupted in whispers. The Queen herself floated closer, her many arms folded. She stared at Aaron, trying to hide the surprise that threatened her composure. "You humans," she began, her voice faltering slightly. "You have exceeded every expectation. Not by alien measures, but by something unique. Your resilience, your coordination, your ability to adapt. It is remarkable." Aaron inclined his head slightly. "We survive because we must. We adapt because we can. And we help each other because we understand that no one succeeds alone." The Queen paused, studying him. There was something in his calm, confident demeanor that unsettled her. Humans had faced impossible odds on their homeworld countless times. They had survived plagues, wars, environmental collapse, and starvation. They had rebuilt, adapted, and thrived. Their strength was not raw power or advanced technology, but spirit, the kind that could defy expectation, challenge authority, and endure anything. The Queen's violet eyes scanned the rest of the human crew. Each member stood tall, eyes bright, posture unyielding. They were exhausted, yes, but none showed fear. None showed weakness. Every step, every decision, every movement reflected the human will to endure and overcome. "You have earned my attention," the Queen said finally. "In my curiosity, perhaps humanity is not as weak as we have believed." Aaron allowed a faint smile. "We are proud to show our strengths, but we hope this is only the beginning of understanding, not the end of it." The Queen nodded slowly. She had expected to witness weakness and fear. Instead, she had seen courage, ingenuity, and teamwork qualities her species often underestimated. She had underestimated humans, and now she could not ignore them. As the humans left the arena, the courtiers whispered among themselves. The Queen's approval, or at least her acknowledgement, was unprecedented. No human had ever stood in her presence and emerged not broken, but respected. Aaron glanced back once at the Queen. "We will continue to meet your challenges," he said quietly to his crew, "and we will do it together." The human crew left the arena with heads held high, hearts steady, a quiet certainty that had shaken even the most powerful alien in the galaxy. They had proven that strength was not only measured in raw power or alien ability, but in resilience, ingenuity, and the will to endure against all odds. And the alien Queen, powerful and proud as she was, realized something she had not anticipated. Humans were not merely survivors. They were a force unlike any she had ever encountered, and she would soon learn that underestimating them could be a mistake with consequences beyond her understanding. The trials had ended, but the story was far from over. Humanity's presence on Zithera 7 had already begun to shift perceptions, challenge expectations, and sow seeds of a respect that could grow into something far greater than anyone human or alien had imagined. The humans had barely left the arena when the palace itself seemed to whisper around them. The corridors were alive with subtle vibrations, pulses of energy that hummed through the crystal floors. Captain Aaron moved cautiously, sensing the unusual tension in the palace. Despite their success in the trials, the humans understood that the alien court was not yet secure, and victory in the arena did not guarantee safety or trust. "Captain," said Lena, glancing at a faint flicker of light from a side corridor, "do you feel that? Something isn't right." Aaron nodded slightly. Humans had always relied on observation and instinct to survive. This feeling was familiar. Danger rarely announced itself in clear terms. It hid in whispers, in shadows, and in the hesitation of others. "Stay alert," Aaron said quietly. "We've earned respect in the arena, but respect doesn't mean trust. We need to understand what's happening here." The crew followed, moving in quiet, synchronized steps. Every human had trained for situations like this, not only combat or diplomacy, but sensing patterns, noticing anomalies, reading behavior. The palace corridors were full of alien courtiers, their multiple arms folding and unfolding in gestures that humans could not fully interpret. Some courtiers glanced at the humans nervously. Others avoided their gaze entirely. Something was off. The queen awaited them in her private chambers. She floated gracefully, her violet eyes sharper than ever, yet there was an unusual tension in her posture. "Captain Aaron," she said, her voice calm but edged with concern, "you have proven yourselves remarkable. But there are issues within my court, factions that question my authority. Some are planning actions you would call treachery." Aaron stepped forward, his gaze steady. "We can help. We are skilled at identifying threats, solving problems others might overlook. If you allow us, we can assist." The queen hesitated, a flicker of uncertainty crossing her face. Humans had helped her in the arena, yes, but aiding in court politics and matters of security was unprecedented. No human had ever been trusted to intervene directly in the affairs of her empire. Yet something in Aaron's calm confidence compelled her. "Very well," she said finally. "But be warned. These conspirators are cunning. They understand my weaknesses. They would kill any who interfere." Karen inclined his head. "We understand the risk. But humans survive by facing danger, not avoiding it." The queen led them deeper into the palace, past corridors that shimmered with alien energy. In a secluded chamber, she revealed a hidden map of the palace's energy conduits. A network controlling everything from lighting to security fields. "These paths are where the conspirators will strike," she explained. "They plan to seize the central energy core and take control. If they succeed, my court will fall into chaos, and your presence here may become very dangerous." Aaron studied the map carefully. "We need to predict their moves, then intercept them before they reach the core." He pointed to several junctions along the corridors. "These are choke points. We can use them to our advantage, set traps, and redirect them. They will not expect unconventional thinking from humans." Lena leaned forward, tracing the pathways with her fingers. "We can also use our small size and agility. They rely on their strength and energy manipulation. If we move strategically, we can neutralize them without confrontation." The queen's eyes widened slightly. Humans did not fight like her people. They did not rely solely on power. Instead, they relied on creativity, coordination, and adaptability. Traits she had begun to respect but had never seen used so effectively in palace politics. "We will act," Aaron said. "Tonight, when the conspirators make their move," night fell on Zithera-7. Though the planet's twin suns cast a faint green glow that made darkness more a shadow of light than true night. The palace corridors were quiet, almost serene, but the humans moved with purpose. Every step was calculated, every sense alert at the first junction. A group of alien conspirators emerged from the shadows, attempting to bypass the energy field. They were strong, fast, and trained for combat. But humans had faced impossible odds before. Aaron whispered a plan, and the humans split into precise positions. Using the environment to their advantage, they redirected energy flows, creating barriers that slowed the conspirators. One human, Rafe, used a reflective surface to blind a guard temporarily, while another moved silently behind to block the path. The conspirators were caught off guard not by force, but by strategy. The Queen, observing through a surveillance panel, could barely hide her astonishment. Humans had taken action where her most trusted advisors would have faltered. They anticipated moves, adapted instantly, and acted decisively. As the humans intercepted the first wave, Aaron realized this was only the beginning. The conspirators were relentless, clever, and willing to risk everything. Yet the humans pressed on, turning the alien court's assumptions about strength on its head. The next challenge was more dangerous. The conspirators had managed to reach a secondary energy conduit. If they activated it, alarms would trigger, security fields would lock down, and the palace could descend into chaos. Aaron signaled silently. Lena and Rafe moved ahead, navigating through a narrow energy corridor. Their movements were precise, timing their steps with the pulsing energy waves. They reached the conduit just as a sentinel emerged, a massive crystalline. Guardian programmed to strike intruders. Most species would have attacked it head-on, risking injury or worse. But humans relied on observation and improvisation. Lena threw a small device, disrupting the Sentinel's energy field momentarily, while Rafe used a handheld stabilizer to redirect the pulse harmlessly into the floor. The Guardian froze, giving them just enough time to secure the conduit by the time the conspirators arrived. The humans had already dismantled their plan. Once again, humans succeeded where alien strength alone would not have sufficed. Finally, the humans reached the central energy core where the main conspirators were gathered. They were armed with energy weapons, their multiple arms moving in coordinated strikes designed to overwhelm intruders. Aaron assessed the situation quickly. "We don't need to overpower them," he said. "We need to outthink them." He directed his team to create diversions, using small devices that emitted light and sound, confusing the conspirators. While the enemies hesitated, humans moved silently, disabling energy conduits and isolating individuals. Each movement was coordinated, precise, and decisive. The conspirators realized too late that they had been outmaneuvered. Their strength and aggression counted for little against humans who used strategy, observation, and unity. Within moments, the threat was neutralized. The central energy core was secure, and the humans had prevented a palace coup. The Queen arrived shortly after, her presence commanding yet tinged with awe. She floated above the scene, her multiple arms folded. "Humans, you have done what no one else could. You have saved my court, my throne, and my people. And you did it without relying on strength or energy alone. You relied on ingenuity, cooperation, and courage." Aaron inclined his head. "We act not for glory, but because it is the right thing to do. Humans survive because we work together and face what others fear." The Queen studied them. There was something she had not anticipated. Humans were not only capable of surviving trials, they could master them in ways her species never imagined. She had expected fear, hesitation, and weakness. Instead, she saw resilience, intellect, and spirit. "This changes my perception," the Queen admitted. "You are not fragile. You are not weak. You are remarkable. Perhaps humanity deserves more than mere observation from afar. Perhaps you deserve a place among the galaxy's great species." Aaron allowed a small, respectful smile. "We seek understanding, not conquest. We wish to build alliances, not dominance. But know this, underestimate humanity at your peril. We adapt, we endure, and we face challenges together." The Queen's violet eyes lingered on him. For the first time, she felt caution and a strange admiration. She had seen strength in many forms, but never like this. Strength born not of power alone, but of will, creativity, and unyielding resolve. As the humans prepared to rest, the Queen spoke again. "Your presence here has proven that humanity is unlike any species I have encountered. My court, my advisors, and even my enemies will take notice. Your actions tonight have earned you not only my respect, but my attention. Arid. We are honored, Your Majesty, and we will continue to earn it." The humans left the chamber quietly, their bodies tired, but their spirits high. They had faced a hidden threat, navigated danger, and emerged victorious not through brute force, but through the unique qualities that made humans adaptable, courageous, and relentless. And the alien queen, once skeptical and proud, now understood a truth she could not ignore. Humanity was a species to be respected, feared in its resilience, and admired for its indomitable spirit. The palace was quiet once more, but its corridors now held a new tension. Humans had arrived not only as guests, but as a force that challenged assumptions, tested traditions, and proved that the strength of humanity lay not in weapons or power, but in courage, unity, and ingenuity. The night on Zithra 7 passed, but the ripple of humanity's presence would continue to grow. Challenges awaited, alliances would be tested, and the galaxy itself would soon see that humans were a species unlike any other, worthy, resilient, and unstoppable when united. The dawn on Zithra 7 was unlike anything humans had seen before. Twin suns rose slowly above jagged crystal spires, casting green and gold light across the palace. The corridors, which had hummed with tension just hours before, were now calmed. The sense of change in the air was palpable. Captain Aaron and his crew walked beside the alien queen who had chosen to personally accompany them. Her violet eyes were sharper than ever, but a hint of respect softened their edge. Humans had not only survived her trials, they had challenged her expectations and proven their worth. "You have done something no other species has done," the queen said quietly, her many arms folded in front of her. "You have not only succeeded in the arena, or in the threat to my court, but you have shown qualities I did not believe possible in your kind." Aaron inclined his head slightly. "We do not seek to impress. We seek understanding. Humans endure and adapt because it is necessary. We work together because we know that no one survives alone." The queen floated silently for a moment, studying him. Around them, her court began to stir. Courtiers whispered, casting glances at the humans. Where there had once been doubt and disdain, there was now curiosity, and in some eyes, admiration. "Very well," she said finally. "You shall not only leave this palace unharmed, you shall leave with my recognition and the promise of alliance. But understand this, I do not grant my respect lightly. You have earned it, and only because you demonstrated strength unlike any I have witnessed." Aaron nodded. "We are grateful. And we will honor this alliance with the same principles that guide us: courage, integrity, and teamwork." The queen led them to the grand hall, the largest chamber in the palace. Light poured in from translucent crystal walls, reflecting in sharp patterns across the floor. At the center stood a ceremonial platform where the queen formally acknowledged visitors and allies. "Humans," she said, her voice echoing through the hall. "Your actions have proven that you are more than your biology, more than your reputation. You have shown intelligence, bravery, and unity. For this, you have my respect and the respect of my court." The humans stood straight, eyes bright. They had come as outsiders, underestimated and dismissed. Now, they were being recognized as equals, not through raw power or alien ability, but through human ingenuity, courage, and spirit. The queen extended a hand, and Captain Aaron stepped forward. "On behalf of humanity," he said, "we accept your respect and pledge our friendship. We hope this is the beginning of cooperation, not just between our peoples, but for the benefit of all who seek understanding and peace." The queen studied him for a long moment. Then she nodded. "So it shall be. Your species is unlike any other. I have learned tonight that strength is not always measured by size, power, or technology. It is measured by the courage to endure, the will to adapt, and the ability to act together in the face of danger." The court watched in silence. Alien nobles had long prided themselves on their abilities, their intellect, and their control. But the humans had proven that even the most advanced species could underestimate what will, unity, and ingenuity could achieve. Later, in the palace gardens, Aaron and his crew walked among towering crystal flora. The air shimmered with energy, and alien birds with translucent wings flitted overhead. The queen followed them, her demeanor thoughtful. "You have changed how I see your species," she said quietly. Most species I encounter are predictable. Humans are not. You are clever, adaptable, and resilient. I underestimated you, and I almost paid a price for it. Aaron smiled faintly. We humans survive because we must. But we also strive to improve, to understand, and to protect. Underestimation is a mistake any species makes at its peril. The Queen's gaze softened, a rare display of openness. I see now that humanity's greatest strength is not your tools, nor your speed, nor your strength, but something far more enduring, your spirit. Lena glanced at Aaron. Spirit, Captain, it's what makes us human. We can face challenges that others think impossible and find a way through. We don't give up. Rafe nodded. We do it together. Alone we might fail, but as a team, nothing stops us. The Queen floated silently for a moment, considering their words. Your people are remarkable. I underestimated you because I measured you by the standards of others. You do not conform to my expectations, and that is your power.
Ow, you will.
Remain on Zithera 7 as honored guests, and I will personally ensure your safety. That evening, the Queen convened a formal council. Aliens from across her empire gathered, their many arms folded, their glowing eyes focused on the humans. Whispers filled the chamber. The humans had saved the palace, exposed a conspiracy, and proven their worth. It was a historic moment. The Queen addressed the assembly. Citizens of Zithera, witnesses of the past trials, today we have learned a valuable lesson. Humanity is a species unlike any other. They are resilient, intelligent, and brave. Act not out of fear or desire for power, but out of courage and unity. Their actions tonight have saved my court, and they have earned our respect. The chamber fell silent. Then, one by one, the courtiers bowed not in submission, but in acknowledgement. Humanity had earned equality in respect and admiration. Aaron stepped forward. We are honored, he said. We did not act alone. We act as humans, united by our will to endure, our desire to learn, and our commitment to each other. Let this day mark the beginning of understanding between our species built on respect, courage, and the shared desire to thrive. The Queen nodded, her many arms rising slightly in a gesture of acceptance. So it shall be. Humanity is no longer to be dismissed. You have proven yourselves capable, honorable, and resilient.
Us.
Let this alliance serve as a testament to the strength of your spirit. As the humans prepared to depart from the palace, the Queen presented them with a gift. A crystal device capable of translating thoughts and languages across the galaxy. Use this wisely, she said. It is a symbol of our trust and acknowledgement. May it guide your people, and yours guide us, in understanding and collaboration. Aaron accepted the device with respect. We will honor it. We'll continue to prove that humanity's spirit is worthy of trust and respect. The humans left the palace that night under the twin sun's gentle glow. They had come as outsiders, underestimated and doubted. They left not only with allies, but with the profound respect of an empire, and the knowledge that humanity could stand among the galaxy's most advanced civilizations, not because of sheer power, but because of courage, ingenuity, and unwavering unity. As the spaceship lifted off, Aaron looked back at the crystalline palace. The Queen watched them go, her eyes thoughtful. She had witnessed strength unlike any she had known. She had seen what humanity could do when faced with impossible odds. And she understood something vital. Humans were a species that could not be dismissed. A species that inspired respect and caution in equal measure. They had spirit, they had ingenuity, and they had the courage to face any challenge. For the humans, the galaxy was no longer an alien frontier. It was a place where their resilience, intelligence, and teamwork would be recognized and feared, admired, and respected. They had not conquered through weapons or technology. They had conquered through something far stronger, the enduring spirit of humanity itself. As the stars stretched out before them, Aaron smiled. This is only the beginning, he said quietly to his crew. Humanity has much to offer the galaxy, and now the galaxy will see it. The crew nodded, hearts steady, eyes bright. They were human, united, and unstoppable in their resolve. And the universe, vast and indifferent though it seemed, had already begun to take notice. XY Thera-7 faded behind them. But the impact of humanity's courage, ingenuity, and spirit would echo through the Empire for generations to come. The alien Queen had learned a lesson that no one could unlearn. Never underestimate humanity, for it thrives where others falter and shines where others despair. And so, among the stars, humanity's legend began to grow. Not through conquest, but through courage. Not through domination, but through unity. And always, always, through the relentless, unyielding strength of the human spirit.